So the complaint says consumers are harmed because meritorious rivals who want to offer them something can't do that, and that consumers lose choice. They also claim that Google's quality has gone down as a result of its monopoly. It clutters the space with more ads. And it claims that innovation is harmed in general. This is very hard to prove. The Sherman Act is very, very broad in its terms. As you know, it prohibits illegal anti-competitive contracts, and it prohibits monopolization, and leave it to the courts to decide what that is. And US against Microsoft, which the complaint heavily relies upon, interprets the Sherman Act in a rather progressive, good way to prevent a firm from using all sorts of tactics to keep out the rivals. It's odd that it doesn't bring it also under Section 1 of the Sherman Act for illegal contracts, because they could easily have just alleged that too, and they have alleged many contracts. 80% of search network effects. People want their friends to be on the same network. They want their buyers and suppliers to be on the same network. And Google will say, and it got that way through good works. And the government will say, no, look at all these other things you did. It's not good works. But yeah, that story could be for or against them. 80% usually goes against. I mean, the fact that you have 80% is usually an indication that you have monopoly power. I think there's not an effective deterrent money-wise. So that's why some people say you've got to break them up because they have bad incentives. They do have incentives from their very structure to do various things that entrench themselves. So that's why a lot of people will say break them up. One way of looking at it is that firms really do have power, and they use power, and they use the power to entrench themselves and to keep out the rivals, and that hurts consumers. The other way of looking at it, which is the Google way, is to say the firms don't even have power. They're facing huge amounts of competition. Competition is a click away, and leave the firms alone to do what they do so well, which is innovation.